we have a doozy of a story. You know, some people, they were saying, hey, someone big, someone huge is going to visit Disneyland over the weekend. And, well, it happened to be the Vice President of the United States. This from Disneyland News Today. Vice President J.D. Vance, Disneyland visit draws protests and increased security. This by Gretchen McDermott. Vice President J.D. Vance has been seen at Disneyland Resort, with his visit requiring enhanced security and drawing some protests. As shared by the Orange County Register, Vice President Vance was rumored to be visiting Disneyland Resort this weekend. The J.D. Vance Disneyland visit has now been confirmed by local news station Fox 11, and of course, he's been there, with enhanced security specifically being seen in the area around Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa, which is where Vance is reportedly staying. The vice presidential motorcade was believed to have been seen in downtown Disney at the Grand Californian Hotel, with the area sealed off with tight security. I believe the Grand Californian was actually chosen because there's one particular room that I can think of that is large enough to handle the entourage that would be associated with a visit from the vice president. And there were a lot of people to facilitate this visit. That is absolutely for sure. But we want to talk about one particular video in a series of videos that were collected from J.D. Vance's visit, one that has a lot of people criticizing him. And we want to go ahead and dissuade a little bit of that here on That Park Place. You can see this video taken by Disney Scoop Guy. You can see him actually, Jonas. Where is he right now, actually?
Is that Tom Sawyer Island?
What? Tom Sawyer's Island? I thought they got rid of... Oh, yeah, they only got rid of that on one coast. Tom Sawyer's Island does actually still exist at Disneyland. And guess what? That's where J.D. Vance went. Good for him. Maybe that's why he went over here.
Well, word is that now that J.D. Vance has stepped foot on it, Bob Iger is tearing it down.
Yes, exactly. You can see right here, there's the vice president there with his wife. You know, he did bring his kids along, and presumably his kids are playing on Tom Sawyer's Island. And you can see he's kind of playing with his phone right there, and then something catches his attention, and that's when he takes off into, some people are calling a run, some people are calling a sprint. But you go ahead and be the judge.
More of a flail, really.
Yeah. Okay, so he takes off.
It's like the way that I used to run it as a kid, and my dad would look at me with disappointment.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, he takes off, and he's going up, and there you go. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. That's not very vice presidential. This guy's supposed to be the, ideal of masculinity. Why is he running like that? Okay, well, he's running like that for a couple of reasons, and I happen to know why, because I know those stairs very, very well. As you'll know, if you've ever been on Tom Sawyer's Island, very little of it is actually paved. It's all pretty much dirt, and so are those steps that he's climbing up right now, and they're super slippery as a result. And you would know that if you were actually on the island for some period of time and walking around. So what is he doing? He's attempting to go up those steps as quickly as possible while also ensuring that he has good footing so he doesn't actually slip and fall, which would be a far more devastating incident than just, a little prancy run.
That is very much, logical and makes a lot of sense, but you can't say that it's not hysterical. I get the reason why he's running, but look, it's time for my summer sizzle, cool as a cherry popsicle.
It's time for my summer sizzle, cool as a cherry popsicle, and don't hold back, get ready to stun, fun for everyone.
It does look okay.
I'll throw one in here. I'll throw one more in here. As a dad, I recognize this run in a different way. Not worrying about the terrain, but the okay, what's this kid doing? What's it? Oh, gotta go kind of run. The let's go as quickly as we can without running, without going into a full-on sprint in the middle of everybody and looking like a total spaz. But that child needs to be stopped from doing what they're doing.
I think that's playing into the story as well right there. He's attempting to get to his kids as quickly as possible in order to, I don't know, see if they're okay or maybe send called or whatever. Oh, okay. So let's go ahead and talk about this.
That tweet.
let's talk about this particular aspect. So one of the tweets that went pretty viral from Disney Scoop actually was him actually leaving Tiana's. And Gavin Newsom quote tweeted Disney Scoop. That's why you can see it partially in the link there. I hope you enjoy your family time, JD Vance, Gavin Newsom says. The families you're tearing apart certainly won't. JD Vance quote tweeted that and said, had a great time. Thanks. So he was, he was,
wow.
He had a fine time, actually. So there you go. But it seemed like JD Vance actually had a pretty good time indeed. But there were many personnel associated with his visit. There's no question about that. There were reports that they counted as many as 50 people who were actually, tailing the vice president directly in order to ensure his security. And some people have been like, but tax dollars and all this kind of stuff. Oh my goodness gracious, we're all paying for this. And it's like, whoa. Do you forget that? Please.
You're paying for it anytime any president goes on any vacation or vice president or anything like that.
Correct.
You are always paying for it, guys, because at the end of the day, they are public servants, but they are still people. They still have to do things with their families. They still have to go places. And this is why I'm always like, why would anyone ever want to go into roles like this? Because it's such every aspect of your life. The guy is just taking a vacation with his family. I mean, at the end of the day, if Obama goes to Walt Disney World on vacation with his kids, you're still paying for it because he still has Secret Service protection.
Well,
so
and it's interesting that you actually bring this up because, well, that is exactly what happened back in the day. He didn't go on vacation. He was actually going there for an official visit. But you can imagine the security presence surrounding Obama at that time. Go ahead, please.
Well, I mean, we've seen, Richard Nixon was in, wasn't he in Walt Disney World like during Watergate or something like that? I mean, I know friends that have put Jimmy Carter onto Space Mountain. So, you're always paying for it because these people are people. They have to go places and they always have to have the security. They essentially, and I don't care whether you're right or left or red or blue or whatever, you are giving up your freedom and your privacy when you take on these roles, and you cannot be denied any joy in life from then on.
Yes. It's interesting. Actually, Nixon, the story is that Bob Gurr was piloting that monorail and the Secret Service didn't understand what was about to happen. And so Bob Gurr took Richard Nixon on a lap with the monorail and the Secret Service treated it as if Bob Gurr tried to kidnap the president.
Yes, indeed. It could have been an international incident right there. Bob Gurr is great stories. Apparently, when they came back in the station too, Nixon and Walt Disney got off, and then the Secret Service got on, and so they were transported with a loop again without the vice president, but this time, well, they were on the monorail themselves. Very funny. But Disney's been host to countless heads of states, congressmen, senators, what have you. There have been so many people of high profile that have visited Disneyland. It's just part of the gig, folks. It's like Marvin pointed out right there. There is protection no matter where you go. And in this case, actually, going to Disneyland is actually a lot safer than a lot of these other places because they do have a security boundary actually in place right there. So despite what you may think about JD Vance's run, which is, a little bit amusing, I will say. I think the visit actually did go off fairly well. It looks like he had a great time, which is what it's all about.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.